welcome to another episode of Shootin with the Scotts. I, as always, am one of your co-hosts, Mrs. Cherron Scott, and I am joined by my husband and a co-host.
What's going on, y'all? Peter Scott, the co-host, also known as Gamer for Hire.
So, the fact, why doesn't Mr. change throughout your marital status?
Misogyny.
Because I want to be like, no, make sure you put the Mr. on there. But I'm like, you would put the Mr. on there no matter what.
It's weird, though, because unlike Mrs., I feel like a lot of titles are getting phased out with our generation and generations coming up after us. Like, my niece and nephew don't call me uncle.
They really don't.
And sometimes I feel a way about that, but other times I'm like, y'all never call me uncle, so. I was
gonna say, but you was also like a real young uncle.
Right.
So it's like, they don't see you as
old man,
uncle. They just see you as like, meh.
But I'm bringing that back. Harley's calling all her uncles uncle. Like, no, that's Uncle Galen. No, that's Uncle Jamal.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
But they're also old.
Barely.
Gosh. So, as always, welcome. We are here every week, every Monday at 12 to talk to each other.
Slow down. You ain't got that much lung space.
Man, I really don't. I really don't. But we are here every week to talk to each other, to go and reflect on our week using our roses and thorns, and just to shoot whatever shit comes across the table, comes across our mind.
Just chilling. It's just a kickback.
And I'm always interested to know what our audience thinks and how our audience feels about things.
Yeah, the comments are there, y'all.
Yes.
Use them wisely.
So, let's get right into it.
Okay. Our first segment, Roses and Thorns.
Yes.
What's your thorn for the week? Or did you go last week? Nah, it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
My thorn for the week. I feel like we probably... we're either a week or 2 weeks removed from it, but had an incident with our lovely daughter who has yet to make her appearance in the world. So,
already stressing you out.
Man, look. So, sometime last weekend, I went from being able to, feel her and her being very active and constantly moving all the time to, very little to no movement. And, normally, especially in your third trimester, that's, a sign of, fetal distress. So after not feeling her for all day, I was tripping out. She is not distressed.
She was chilling.
I was so scared because I was like, bro, if something's happening, I want to know what's going on. That's the only way you could tell that your baby is literally still alive. Feeling them move throughout the day. So I was worried. I was stressed out, and so we ended up, I was trying to, put it off. I did all the things that, drink some juice, lay on your side, poke around a little bit, see if you get a response. And it was just, nothing.
She was having a nice little dream.
Oh, my gosh.
Deep in sleep.
So eventually, I was just all right, I'm not feeling comfortable. I'd rather just go get checked out. And me being the person that I am, the way my anxiety is set up, I'm I don't want to be a burden, and, it'd be nothing, and she'd be perfectly fine. But I was also just I care more about my kid than I do myself right now. So, me and Peter were supposed to go to the movies later, and I was just we'll go after the movie. But Peter was like, nah, we gonna go right now.
I wanted to be nigga, what? No.
So
what I look like?
So we ended up going to the hospital. They put me on the fetal monitor, and y'all, I swear, as soon as that monitor touched my stomach, Arlene kicked the damn monitor.
Who was intruding on my space?
Kicked the monitor, and it was oh, yep, she's perfectly fine. The heartbeat's nice and steady. Whole time, she's literally kicking the monitor.
Moving, punching.
The
whole nine.
I was you have me stressed. and worried, damn near in tears, thinking something was wrong, and you just chilling.
I was like, it's a good time to wake up. It's time to stretch my legs.
Gosh.
Stretch my arms out. Oh, we had to. What's
Like,
this feedback? I don't like this. Whoever this is, move this.
Hilarious.
Please.
So I'm grateful that she's okay, but I was stressed out. That's definitely my thorn. Also a rose that she was okay, but like high thorn. High thorn that I was that stressed out. And then when we went to the doctor was just like, yeah, they tell you to do kick counts and try to get like 10 kicks within the hour, and like he was just like, that don't make no sense. And I was just like, okay. So I feel like I'm a lot less lax. I'm trying to and that's another thing. They're like, at this point in your pregnancy, like as it gets closer to the end, you'll start to pick up on your child's behaviors and patterns. So at first I'm like, all right, cool. I'm sensing a pattern. And like, Harlena's starting to sleep through the night. Like, I don't feel her kicking as much at night. And she'll be like up throughout the day until like lunchtime, and then get quiet after lunch. And then like move around like 8, 9 o'clock.
She find her spot, she stays there.
Man, look.
You'll stay there, nice and comfy, right up in your back.
Right up, like that too. I feel like she likes to be turned around and like facing my back. So I was thinking like, all right, cool. Like this is her schedule. I know what to expect. I know which hours to expect it. And literally last night, all night she was going, just active. All night, and I'm just like,
ooh, who put the coffee in my system?
Okay.
Sleep. Probably got insomnia already.
Like, literally. I was just like, cool. Like, you just keep switching it up on me, kid. I don't know what to expect.
She's like a daddy. You can't expect nothing. Just go with the flow.
Gosh.
You never know what's going to
happen. Y'all are going
to
stress me out.
Hey, you never know how we're going to feel.
Y'all going to stress me out. So,
man.
yeah.
I guess a thorn for me would be... Shoot, I just had it. It was literally just, I could do that. But it's gone now.
You gotta write these things down.
No, okay, I found it again. Patient first. Y'all my thorn. I'm calling y'all out specifically.
Oh, yeah.
What good is the urgent care if y'all can't be there in urgent times of need?
Yeah.
We had to go to the hospital for this. We went to urgent care first, like, okay, y'all should have a heartbeat monitor.
Like, that's something.
Something simple.
Something.
No. It had nothing for fetuses, babies, none of that.
Nope.
I'd probably doubt they have pregnancy tests in there.
It's like, we don't do that here. I was like, y'all don't do any type of fetal monitoring. Like, I can go get a fucking Doppler for $20 off of Amazon. Like,
So,
like no.
That's my thorn. A rose is watching the My Hero Academia movie and Eternals. Those were good.
Yes.
I can see what people's issues were with Eternals. There's a lot of fucking talking for me. I'm like, can we go back to punching stuff, please?
Hilarious.
But
this wasn't that type of movie.
It wasn't that type of movie. I did like the lore building and, introducing you to, I guess, the bigger galaxy side of things. Mm-hmm. One thing I find funny is I was listening to these group of guys who were talking about the movie, and one of them was like, they feel like Marvel is shitting on the like spiritual like God side of community, because they're making these like Eternals made or Celestials made the world and created the universe.
Gosh.
And they like, that's a sting against Christianity. I'm like,
how? That's a stretch. This is fictional. This is all fictional.
Come on now.
That is a stretch.
Like, if you really want to get serious, go research it. They legitimately have a being in the comics called the One Above All. Yes. All of that shit. So, maybe like a god or something. Like, relax, guys.
That's a lot.
It's not that serious. It's a Marvel movie. Other than that, it was pretty decent.
That's funny. I saw something. Oh, you had anything?
No.
Oh, I saw something today, and it was just like, it made me chuckle a little bit. But it was just like, It said something about Eternals being the #1 movie in America right now, and I'm like, how is it the #1 movie in America when #1? There's been a lot of #1 movies in America, but #2, like, their reviews on Rotten Tomatoes are shit.
It's because they're. Go ahead.
Oh, and it's like, I understand, like, movie reviews or any type of reviews really are like far ends of the spectrum. It's people who either really hate something or people who really love something, and it doesn't really give you a full picture of what the actual thing that's being reviewed is like. But it's also just like, everybody is shitting on this movie, but it's the #1 movie in America.
So 2 things with that. First thing is because it's the only movie in America right now. There ain't nothing else out. Nobody's going out watching that. I think that cowboy movie got a showing in a theater somewhere. But like when we went to the movie theater, there was barely anything on the marquee. They were replaying One Piece Strong World, an old ass movie. Like so there's that. Second thing is, it's critics. Critics are the one that are giving these Marvel movies horrible reviews.
Yes.
And it's because they are tired of having the movie market saturated with superhero movies.
I feel like that is...
But that's what's hot right now.
Right.
Deal with it. Nobody was complaining when we had 15 Mission Impossible movies back to back. Nobody was complaining when we had a Jurassic Park movie every year.
Yeah.
They are just slowing down with the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
Man, relax, guys. It's not that serious. I don't know what these critics are expecting out of a superhero movie. Like, it's not going to be a hour, 90 minutes or whatever epic. Like,
yeah,
we're watching people punch monsters and CGI animals. Come on. Relax, guys.
But that was my thing. Like, people are, like, trashing Eternals because it doesn't fit the quote-unquote Marvel... what's the word? Formula. But it's also just like, if you would listen to the people who are making these movies, they have said time and time again that this next phase of Marvel is not going to look like the previous phases. Like,
they're not going to do another 10-year epic.
You know, so people are expecting them to be like, people are expecting it to be like Avengers, where it's like one thing leads to the next thing, leads to the next thing, leads to the next thing. Like,
lurking in the shadows, that's sending all his minions out to fuck with the event. No.
It's like the movies are self-contained and not necessarily building on one on top of another as it was in the previous. So that's why they're like, oh, I don't like this. This is different.
Yeah. They're saying some of the movies are going to lead up to like a big Avengers movies, but it's like, it's not going to really, there's going to be a movie and then probably a TV show that ties into that. And then a TV show that leads up to a movie. But this whole 10-year epic Marvel have freaking origin movie one-shots for all of these heroes leading up to this big team. No, it's not going to be that anymore, guys. We know who the Avengers are. We know what type of fights they fight.
Like, let's move on.
Let's get there.
Like,
all right, we get it. They superheroes. But yeah, I don't know what people are expecting. This isn't an opera. Like,
no.
This isn't freaking Titanic. It's not that serious, guys.
No. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I think it was a good movie. I liked how... I just like how they... I don't want to say brought everything to Earth, but just like... allowed you to see the differences in these characters over time. And allowed you to see how... being
immortal, eternal,
affects your psyche, your mental, how you deal with things. So yeah, that was good. And I just like the whole like family aspect of it. Like they seemed like a family and not just a team.
And
that
in
worked
every
together.
aspect of it, like they fight, they separated, they came back together when somebody died, and
like,
all right, let's bury our hatchet.
You know?
Just like any family, like we beefing. Grandma dead. I guess we gotta see each other again. Like shit happens.
Like. So, I really enjoyed that.
I did like how they showed how some of them, like you said, some of them were affected by time. Like, no spoilers, but there's a psychic, how certain wars affected him. And then the scientists, how giving man technology affected him.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Right.
Those are the little, I guess, nuances I like. But, yeah.
Okay. Anything else from this past week you want to talk about?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, our topic for the day is gonna it's spawned from a major event that happened this past week. So, recently, Travis Scott had his Astroworld Festival, and of course, chaos ensued. Tragic chaos, like people died. There was just a lot of injuries, a whole lot of things that happened.
Yeah, our condolences go out to the family members and all of that.
Yeah.
Because, it's rough. You go to have a good time, and then
that's my thing. You went to this concert to enjoy yourself, and you don't get to go home. You didn't make it home. Like, that's just sad. But I'm not gonna focus on that specifically. I more so want to focus on or talk about how you feel that, or if you feel that, what's the word? Celebrities are responsible for, I guess, the role they play in how their concerts or events affect people, affect their fans. So, for me, I definitely think that, like, not all onus should be blamed on the celebrities, but, like, for instance, when people first started going outside after the pandemic with COVID and everything, how celebrities would have concerts and then they would turn into super spreader events because it's like, duh, nigga, like, it's still a pandemic.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, at what point does it start to be like, all right, celebrities, like, stop having concerts and stop having these events if you know that these things could happen as a result?
Yeah.
Like, at what point is it less don't go to a concert if you know the type of climate we in, and more of don't have a concert if you know the type of climate we in?
I think it's very complicated. I think it's very multifaceted. Because you got to look at it as a whole. Yes, it's their concert.
Right.
They are the ones that are bringing the money in and the people in, and they're the one. It's their fans that are coming. Mm-hmm. So on that end, it's like you got to know the artists. There are some artists where your concert is going to be wild because you put off this air about you that this is supposed to be a party. But then you have some other artists where it's just going to be chill, laid back, lighters in the air, enjoying the day. That's when the venue gets in. It's like, do we want to host this fan base? Do we want to host this artist knowing their fan base and how, I guess, out of control they can get? Then, like you said, you got to know the climate we're in. We're post-pandemic.
Pseudo post-pandemic.
Heavy on the air quotes. But knowing that you should understand the freedom people want.
Yeah.
And the type of freedom certain groups, certain age groups haven't gotten in their prime years.
Okay.
So, with that in mind, it's like, just like when we end the pandemic and people were still having concerts, somebody got to be the scapegoat. We're not going to really know what's going to happen unless somebody does it. Like, everybody and their mama would tell you during the pandemic, once this shit is over, once outside opens back up, it's going to be Freaknik all over again. It's going to be, shit, I forgot the name again. Woodstock all over again. It's going to be these wild-ass parties with wild-ass outcomes because people haven't gotten that freedom in ages, and they don't want you to stop it again. So it's like, it's tricky because I'm not going to necessarily say you can blame the artists because, yes, all the attention is on them.
Right.
But they're in a collaboration with the venue. It's technically not their responsibility to worry about the safety of the audience. That's on the venue. The venue should know the capacity that they can allow. They should know how many staff they need to accommodate that capacity, all of that. So I think it can fall on both parties. Like with this specific event, there were videos taken of Travis Scott, trying to get people's attention because certain people were injured. Like, hey, watch out, let these people through so they can get to whoever they were trying to get to. But also, at that point, it's also on the venue to, like, all right, if that's the case, if things are really getting, cut the mics, turn on the lights, shut down the music. Like, who cares who's on stage? Who cares if Travis Scott still has a mic in his hand singing his song while this is all going on? There was somebody behind the AV board, and all he has to do is
hit a button. Yeah.
And the whole situation would change. Travis, mic not working, what's going on?
Right.
The audience is on fire, nigga. That's what's going on.
But then there's also a different aspect to that. There was also video of him being like, like, what are y'all upset for? What are y'all stressing out for? Like, y'all know why y'all came here. Like, some people are just, like, trying to get his attention or trying to get somebody's attention, essentially, to, like, so twofold. Somebody was trying to get somebody's attention. The audience was trying to get somebody's attention so that could happen, so that you all right?
Yeah, just something in mind.
Oh. So that, the attention or whatever was causing the disturbance, crowd surging, whatever, could stop so that the people who needed medical attention could get it.
Yeah.
But going back to what you said about people being outside, there was also video of people, like, standing on top of the paramedics, the golf carts, the ambulances, like, being in the way, like, still partying, essentially, while these people are trying to get the help that they need. And it's just like, as a celebrity, as the person, as a celebrity, as the person who is hosting this event, essentially, like, are you not gonna stop what you're doing so that,
but then,
like, why keep going if you know that this stuff is happening in your audience?
Okay, but then where does self-accountability comes in? These are grown-ass adults. Like, don't get me wrong, this concert was supposed to be an all-ages event, yada, yada, yada. But there is nobody in that audience who doesn't know what it means, who can't take context clues. Like, no, you shouldn't be jumping on this ambulance. No, you shouldn't be jumping on this emergency vehicle or whatever is going on. So I don't think that falls on Travis. Like, he can't control every single person in that audience. Like, he can't say, hey, you specifically right there, stop doing that, and they stop doing that. Like, they should have known I shouldn't have jumped on this in the first place. So, yeah. At some point, you got to also push in self-accountability because there's thousands of people or hundreds of people in this audience.
You got to rate thousands.
Like, you can't control each and every aspect of this person from on stage. Like, you like you said, you have one person saying, trying to get people's attention, trying to help. But there was another video where somebody panned to somebody on the floor getting chest compressions and CPR done on him, and pan to the other side, this girl screaming and yelling and partying and have a good time. Same exact, just one side to the other side.
But, so, overall, it's like,
I think, in the grand scheme of things, the big picture is on both the artist and the venue. Because they are the ones that have the audience's attention. I don't think it's 100%, it should be 100% on Travis. Right. Like I said, he had moments where he stopped doing what he was doing to draw attention to certain people trying to get help and people not allowing help to get to that person. But then you had other moments where he just kept doing his set. I can't say what was right. I know what I would do. Hey, cut the mic, turn the lights on. Yeah. Shit getting weird.
Figuring out what's going on.
But Travis ain't me.
So that's why my question stands. Like, as an artist, do you not take on some of that responsibility? Like, and like I said, even outside of the Travis thing, like, if you know that you having a concert is going to generate all of these people to be in one area while there is still a virus being spread around easily that could harm and kill people, that these people could take back to their families, like, why would you choose a venue that allows all these people to be in super close quarters with one another? And then two, you know people are going to come see you. Like, you know that's how you're going to make your money. And, like, sorry.
Go ahead. Finish what
and it's like, I know that, like, you're right. It's multifaceted. It's not just, I can't say it's just on Meg Thee Stallion, or it's just on J. Cole, or it's just on whoever. Sometimes they don't necessarily have the 100% power to make those decisions. Right. I get that. But I don't like it. Like,
I think. I want to say. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I think, in my opinion, what went wrong is making it an all ages event. I think that's where it went wrong, because a lot of that ignorance and a lot of the out of control stuff happened with underage parties,
right?
Quote unquote, under 18, under 21. Young people who come in, who probably their first concert since they graduated high school, or since they got of concert age or going out by themselves age. This is the first event they've probably been through, especially since we've been in a 2-year pandemic.
Yeah.
I think they don't understand that nuance. They are here to have a good time. I don't give a fuck who dying right here.
But does that not make people fucking crazy?
They're kids.
That's my whole, like, what happened to empathy for other people? Like, what happened to being aware of your surroundings?
The pandemic showed us real quick, people don't give a fuck. That's the whole point about this whole goddamn vaccine. Why do I have to get the vaccine? It's not about you, fam. People just don't, no matter how much we want to say humanity are inherently good, they are also inherently selfish. They don't care about the next person as long as they get theirs.
I think that is my overarching problem. The fact that people just seem like they don't care about another person. They don't care about another being. And it's just like, you have a minority who do, but why are they, like, why is that not the norm? Why is that a minority? Like, why wasn't everybody, like, if I see somebody on the ground dying, hurt, or whatever, I'ma stop, and then that should make the next person stop, and then that should make the next person, and the next person, and the next person. Like,
it's all about getting yours. I paid my money to be in this concert. I'm gonna enjoy this concert.
Yeah, but I don't want to see somebody die next to me that's not enjoying the concert.
Hey, man, if I think about it as, they just passed out from having a good time, then they ain't dead. Like, it's messed up, but that's where the world is. Like, I'm not gonna say I can go to that extreme. Like, if I see somebody hurt outside in public and I don't know, nobody else is helping them, if they aren't getting immediate help, I'm going to step up and do something, try to figure out if I can help. But if it's something that's going to get my family in trouble, if it's something that's going to get my family hurt, if it's going to fuck up me and mine, I don't give a fuck. But that's just me. If I was at this concert, if I couldn't get somebody's attention, I took CPR training.
Right.
I know how to give chest compression. I know the proper technique, all of that stuff. I'm going to trust person.
Right.
But also, good can be detrimental, because another aspect of the concert where people were trying to help, but they were trying to help people who weren't unconscious. Like, I saw an article where there was like, some of the EMT there had to tell other event goers to stop what they were doing because they were giving CPR to people who are conscious, who weren't unconscious, knocked out, who weren't dying, who didn't need chest compressions, while there were other people who were knocked out, not moving, who could have needed the help. But because they just want to help, they were doing it wrong. And because they were paying attention to people who didn't need that specific type of help, we have 8 people dead. So it's like it's a double-edged sword because not all help is needed. That's why I say it can't just be on Travis because thousands of people there. 60% of those people don't give a fuck. And the other 40% are probably helping the wrong person. So it's better. It's like it's a building on fire. The fire department is going to say, don't run back in the building to help somebody. You don't know how to properly help them.
Yeah.
Help yourself and get out.
But then,
But that's why I personally put it on the venue. You don't even have enough support staff to help all of these people.
Yeah.
You don't have enough security to make sure these people stay out. Because the problem is when all the people outside of the event got in.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just old. I'm just not going to a concert anytime soon.
Like I said, somebody got to be the scapegoat. Somebody's got to do it first and see what went wrong so the next thing can go right. Because you don't know what you don't know until you know it. Put that on the shirt.
You don't know what you don't know until you don't know it.
Until you know it.
Until you know it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just like you said, personal accountability does take part. That's why I said I don't think I am going to be comfortable going to a concert soon. One, we're going to have a fresh newborn in 68 days. Two, we're still pseudo heavy on the quotation marks post-pandemic.
Heavy.
And there's still shit. And there's still shit out there that can harm us, and it doesn't look like there's... But it's also the idea that it doesn't look like there's any sense of ever... Like, this is going to be the new normal. It's no sense of going to...
Back.
You know.
There's no going back. That's the thing about the world. Once it changes, it changes. You can't reverse the change.
And then 3 is just like... People don't know how to act. Like,
people don't know. That's my biggest takeaway from this. People just don't know how to act.
But then it's also just like, okay, how do you teach people how to act if you don't give them the opportunity to do right?
This concert really put into perspective that this next generation parents has not asked them, if your friend jump off the bridge, you gonna jump off the bridge too? They have not been asked that question, and it shows.
Yeah. I don't know. But it's just like, is there, like, I don't want to be in the house forever. Like, is there ever going to be a point where you going to feel comfortable going out again? Like, is there ever going to be a point? Like, there's still plenty of concerts that I want to go to. There's plenty of people I want to see in concert.
A J. Cole concert, a Kid Cudi
you
concert.
act like niggas can't get rowdy at those concerts.
No. It's not. They just don't bring that type of vibe. Travis Scott brings the party. He brings the hype. Like, yes, Cudi can get hype. J. Cole can get hype. But that's not their entire set.
Okay.
That's not all they're known for. There's going to be a few people who over there in the corner was like, yeah, this is the song I've been waiting for. And everybody's like, can we get back to the ones where we know the lyrics?
Hilarious.
Look, this pandemic has showed that you can do very great virtual concerts.
That's not the same. It's not the same.
For a person who's never been to a concert,
I was about to say
exactly like how I want it.
You have never been to a concert, so you don't understand the feel of being in the area.
Shoot, I will be in the area virtually with the rest of these niggas.
It's not the same.
These Roblox is jumping.
You're ridiculous. It's not the same.
I will buy a VR set just to be in there. Like, yo, what's up?
It's not the same. You don't get to feel the energy of the room.
No, I don't.
But it's just like
I give it a solid 5 years
5 years
before people know how to act again. Like I said, we are just on the cusp of getting out of this pandemic, so there's still going to be a lot of learning curves to know how to reshuffle and rearrange things. Because think about it, things went normal before because that's how it always been. That's how concerts have always been. And then adults bring the younger generation with them to show them how these concerts have always been. But once you've been locked down for 2 going on 3 years, and you just going back out, the parents not going to be with you at the concerts. Like, no, go take yourself, have fun, go with your friends, see ya. And then you have other adults there too who also are fine. Like, yes, finally, we get out. Look, there are some homecomings I wouldn't go to right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because these are their first. This is they are sophomores, and this is technically their first year in college.
Yeah.
They don't know how to act.
But
and these freshmen coming up after them, they ain't gonna know how to act. So there's gonna have to be a learning curve. The venues and the artists gonna have to have a dummy to do it first. So we're like, all right, not doing that. Hard cap on ticket sales. No tickets at the door. Like, you're gonna have to take precautions.
So, okay.
I need getting tight.
But like, I know that's not stretch my leg out. So like, I don't know. I don't know, cause even like I say, the way my mental is set up, even after 5 years, it's just like, will it be any better than what it is right now?
I see it as this: in 5 years, excuse me,
because we keep being in this like limbo period, and we keep arguing about dumb shit. Like,
I see this in 5 years, our baby isn't gonna have a visible self-destruct button, so I'm gonna be a little less stressed. And I'll be.
We're also not taking a 5-year-old to concerts.
No, that's what I'm saying. I won't have to worry about like who's taking care of her that much. Like, hold my baby for a night. I'll pick her up after I get back. But at that point, we'll be boosted up, so we won't be bringing diseases back. These venues will have hand sanitizers at every.
Are they gonna have hand sanitizers though? Because we can't even fucking keep hand sanitizer in the movie theater.
Like I said, learning curves. They are going to have to learn. I'm hoping they have enough concert in 5 years where they learn a lot. That's why I'm personally giving it 5 years before I go. If I go to anything public before then, it's going to be a sit-down event where we have chairs and tables. I will go to comedy shows.
But seeing as how, but okay, going back to like the heavy on the quotation marks post-pandemic, it's just like seeing how many people are so quick to get rid of protocols that they had during the height of everything. Like,
and I think that
what's gonna make it? They're not going to all of a sudden be like, oh, let's bring hand sanitizer back out again. Let's start wiping down our fucking seats again. Like, no, if they've already stopped and we're nowhere near the end of this shit, what's gonna happen in 5 years when it's actually a little bit more light at the end of the tunnel? But
I would have to reverse that and say some stores who have stopped have brought that stuff back too. They've bought back paper straws. They bought. Some places that don't have wipes anymore, they just have towels and a spray bottle. We ran out of wipes, but this is what we got. They're starting to bring stuff back because they realize it's not going to be about the public. It's going to be about their workers. Keeping their workers healthy so they can keep coming back. And if they're keeping their workers healthy, then it's automatically going to make sure their customers are healthy because it's their customers that are bringing in these diseases and these sicknesses to their workers. So It's going to be a learning curve. They're gonna fuck up again, and then they're gonna have to start right back over and realize, oh shit, we might have to keep these.
But
I'm gonna sit my pretty ass right here until they figure it out.
But with vaccines being the way that they are, and it's now put less on corporations to do the right thing to stop the spread and more so on individuals to stop the spread, corporations ain't gonna do shit.
That's a whole nother story, because I feel like that's no longer about people's well-being. That's a political thing now. That's about what senator or governor is this company or their overarching brand supporting, and how are we supposed to reflect that in lines with this congressperson? Like, it's this the fact that some politicians are getting voted out because of their stance on the vaccinated and how they feel about protocol and safety of their community versus the next politician who's all about self-autonomy and doing what you want, how you feel about yourself. That reflects our present day. Because if stuff like the vaccine and COVID mandates and just being nice to your neighbor is becoming a politicized view, it really doesn't matter. That a lot of people's politics are their personal views.
Right.
So they're going to line up with whoever feels that way. And if they vote these people in, then woe to the people who care about themselves, who want these mandates to stay in place, who would prefer people to get vaccinated.
But that's what I'm saying. If we're moving more towards it's all about me, the onus is on me and not necessarily anybody else to do things better for the whole, then nobody's going to want to do things better for the whole. Having sanitizer readily available is better for the whole. Wiping stuff down is better for the whole, not...
I think that's where it is, though. I don't think it's people worrying about themselves. They don't care about their neighbor at this point. Because think about it. Just like wearing a mask, just like hand sanitizing, just like wiping things down, the vaccine isn't about you personally. It's about keeping the next person healthy. It's about keeping the person after that healthy.
Yeah, but people don't see it that way.
That's what I'm saying. People aren't going to see it that way because what they're watching in their news, what they're seeing on their feed, the things that are getting politicized, it's about you. It's about what you want. How can you feel safe in your neighborhood? How can you feel like you have autonomy for yourself? It's not about, hey, let's come together, help our neighbor, help this next person out.
I think we're saying the same thing in two different ways. Because if it's going to continue,
different. I'm not expecting.
But you are expecting different if you're expecting people to go back to having hand sanitizer and wiping stuff down. Like, I'm saying it's never going to go back to that. I'm expecting more of the same shit that's going on right now.
I know what you're saying. Okay, so yeah, what I see is them going back to how they are now, realizing it's not good for business, and then bringing back that stuff, not because of personal problems, but to keep their businesses open.
But what I'm saying is, if there are other ways to keep their businesses open, why would they go back to that? If you could say, if you put out vaccine mandates and just like you get vaccinated or you lose your job, they're not going to keep unvaccinated people around. That could be a threat to their customers. That could be a threat to their bottom line.
No, but that's tricky because the government can't mandate it. The government has done that for themselves. Get vaccinated or you lose your job. But like I said, it's politicized because once the government goes from their own people to like, all right, every business in the state has to do it. Mm. Because like the government did issue out, hey, you got to be vaccinated to work as a government official. But these states themselves are like, no, you don't. Look at the cops. There's a mandate saying, hey, the least you have to do if you get vaccinated, upload the vaccination card. Or if you don't want to get vaccinated, get submitted to getting tested every day on the job. Cops are quitting and walking out. You would expect them to do this since they're protecting and serving. You would expect them to do it since it's a mandate from the government across the state. But no, now it's going to individualized states, individualized precincts, and it's like, nah, we ain't got to do shit.
So if people are behaving this way, so if people are behaving this way, what makes you think that they'll go back to the wiping everything down, super cleaning, having hand sanitizer?
And people start dying again. When nobody else is getting a booster shot and their original vaccine isn't working enough. Or the people who are taking their homeopathic medicines, that isn't enough anymore. I think it's going to get reversed when it gets worse. And it's going to get worse because they're not doing what they're supposed to.
So you think in 5 years it'll get worse?
Between now and 5 years, it's going to get worse, and they're going to have to do better. It's going to be the whole cycle over again.
But you don't think people are just going to be like, well, you didn't do what you should have done to protect yourself, so fuck it.
No, because it's the government. Everything is politicized. Nobody wants to make a move without hurting a party line or their constituents or something. Like, all of this shit could have been solved if Joe Biden did what Trump does and just say, fuck it, I'm going to sign it into law. I don't give a fuck what y'all think. But no, because everything is politicized. Everything has to go a certain way. It's not happening. Because it's not the individual people. This is the United States of America. It's not about the individual people. Just like it's not about the individual people who will cut emissions and help the environment get better. It's about the infrastructure. The government has to mandate it and stick behind that and follow through with your threats. You can't say, hey, you'll get fired if you don't get vaccine. It's like, we're not going to get vaccine. Like, well, look, we're not actually going to fire you, but please get your vaccine. No, that ain't going to work.
So you have hope that politicians and regular everyday people are going to hold corporations accountable, and corporations aren't just going to pay their way out of shit like they've been doing for forever?
I feel like, just with everything else, everything stops when Democrats are in power. But as soon as a Republican gets in power, as soon as the people who can make the change gets in power, the people who votes matter, I guess, that's when it's going to happen. Because I guarantee you,
Republicans are not going to vote for anything that's in interest of everyday people.
I guarantee you, when it benefits them, and it will, they will. That's just me.
You got a lot of hope.
I don't think it's hope. I honestly think it's going to get worse before it gets better. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
But you still think it's going to get better at the end of the day.
Okay. I guess.
I just know. I won't be going to no concerts no time soon. For any reason. At all.
Okay. Because when I said 5 years, you were like, 5 years? Like that was going to be long.
No, but just like... I'm saying... No. I just don't think that... I don't know. I don't see anything changing no matter how much time it's been. Like... but that's just me.
I hear you.
That's just me. I feel like people are going to keep being dirty. And because there are unvaccinated people out there that still can buy concert tickets, that can still do whatever the fuck they want, that still wear masks in the fucking grocery store and feel the fucking authority to cough on people and breathe on people. But like,
I don't know. Last thing I'll say is that's kind of my point, where I'm like, I really don't give a fuck what individual people do. As long as me and mine are fine, I'm good. Like, at the end of the day, I honestly don't care what happens to them. I'm good. I'm not sick. I'm not dying. I got vaccinated.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm protecting myself so I can protect my family.
So bringing it back to our original point, just to wrap up, you don't feel that... I'm trying to make it broad. You don't feel that whatever happens out in the world, whether you get sick from going to a concert, whether you get injured from going to a concert, whether you get sick from doing anything or get injured doing anything, whatever the end result is, it's not the people who threw its responsibility. It's more so your responsibility as an individual to do what's in your best interest.
I don't think the change people actually want is something that can happen on an individual scale. There has to be infrastructure. The change has to be overarching. It has to be a complete overhaul. Like, as things are now, as things work now, you're right, it may not get better. But hopefully people's eyes are opening. Politicians are actually making bills that benefit everyday people. If those things get passed, if those things actually work, if things can actually stay in as they say they should, then it may get better. But unless that happens, unless it's the government and the infrastructures that change, what people do one by one will never matter.
So unless concert venues, quote, as a
think about
corporation,
it.
I guess.
Yeah, think about it. If Astroworld was pre-order tickets, no tickets at the door, over 21, do you really think this event would have been as bad as it is today? As it was yesterday, or whenever this shit happened? Mm. Because honestly, when I found out, I felt like I was coming out of a time bubble. I was like, what the fuck is going on Twitter right now?
I guess, or even steps like that, or even just like the way they have it set up, instead of just like a big ass empty field to pack as many people in, have people buy individual boxes and space shit out.
It doesn't necessarily have to be that much. Honestly, just put a cap on it. Only this many people can get in. Pre-order your tickets. You're not going to get tickets at the door. You will be turned away. But because it was an all-age event, come and purchase tickets to get in, there was no cap. Anybody could get in. That's why there was so many people lined up that they just decided, fuck it, I'm a bum rush this shit. But because these venues wanted to make as much money as they possibly could with as little event staff as possible, thinking people are just going to know how to act. Shit turned out the way it did.
Okay. Gosh. Interesting conversation. Well, this has been another episode of Shootin with the Scotts. We have been the Scotts.
Let me know how y'all feel. How do you think things could have gone differently? How do you think... What would have been a better way for a comeback concert of this magnitude could have went? Because... you also got to think, this isn't like, excuse me, This isn't like Lollapalooza where it's an overarching concert with multiple people. This was Astroworld. This was Travis Scott's concert. This was his event. For him, he was the headliner. Like, so I don't know. Maybe it was money. Maybe him and the venue. Hey, this is just a big field. Let's make as much money as possible. People know how to act. We can bring them in. It'll be fine. We're just here to sing. I don't know, bro. Y'all decide.
Yes.
It's been real, guys.
Bye.